Good morning, students. Welcome to your computer lecture. I request all the students to kindly remove their workbook and a pencil. I'm sure we all are ready by now. Now, students, in our last lecture, we learned about the keyboard, the various types of keys on the keyboard and working with the keyboard. We saw different types of rows on the keyboard, the 6 rows, right? You all remember the 6 rows? Great. So today we will learn a new chapter and a new device. So I request all the students to kindly open their workbook to page number 20, chapter number 4, working with the mouse. Now I'm sure, students, we all know what a mouse is. Not the animal mouse. I'm sure we all know that mouse. But in computers also, we have one of the input device called as mouse. Let's learn more about the mouse in detail. We'll begin chapter number 4, working with the mouse. A mouse is a handheld device that is small in size. It is attached to the CPU using a wire. It has 2 buttons, left button and right button. It also has a scroll wheel which is used to move up and down a page. As you move the mouse, the arrow on the monitor also moves. This arrow is known as the mouse pointer. So in the introduction part, students, it's telling us about the mouse. It's a handheld device. Now, what do you mean by handheld? Handheld means we can easily hold it in our hand. It's easily operatable, or we can use the mouse with our hand. Hence, it is known as a handheld device. Now, it is attached to the CPU using a wire. Now, as you see, the animal mouse, it has a tail. Similarly, the wire acts as a tail and it gets connected to the CPU. Mouse has 2 eyes, right? Similarly, the mouse in computers also have 2 buttons. One is known as the left and the other one is the right. The left button and right button. Now in the center there is a wheel, a small wheel which is known as the scroll wheel. So as soon as you move the scroll wheel, or as soon as you make use of the scroll wheel, the pages move up and down. And as you move the mouse, as you hold the mouse, it's a handheld device. So as soon as you hold the mouse and you move it, the arrow on the monitor also moves, due to which the mouse is also used to control the arrow on the monitor screen, and that arrow is also known as a mouse pointer. Remember, so mouse is a handheld device. It is attached to the CPU using a wire. It has 2 buttons, left button, right button and a scroll wheel. You have the picture right on the right. Let's take a closer look. You see, the mouse is divided into 3 parts: left button, right button and scroll wheel. So let us revise what you have learned in the previous grade about the mouse. When you press and release any button on the mouse, it creates a click sound, which is called clicking. There are 3 types of clicking actions. Now in your practical sessions, students, you all have used the mouse and we have done some clicking. I'm sure you remember the sound like click, click. That as soon as you press the mouse button and you hear this click sound, that click sound is known as clicking. Now there are three types of clicking actions. Let's read further. The first one is the left click. What does it say? To perform a left click, the left button of the mouse is used. When you move the pointer over any icon on the monitor and click the left button, the icons get selected, or the icon gets selected. So the left click is used to perform a left click, or to perform a left click we have to use the left button of the mouse. As the name indicates left, so we have to use the left button. Now, as soon as you move the pointer over any particular icon or any particular file, students, with one single left click, if you do a left click, the icon or the particular file gets selected. So let's see what a right click does. To perform a right click, the right button is used. When you move the mouse pointer over any icon on the monitor and click the right button, a list of options for the selected icon appears. These action of pressing and releasing the right mouse button is called right clicking. So when you are using the right click, students, what it does is, as soon as you take the mouse pointer to any particular icon or a file and you left click on it, you will see the list of options. Let's take a look in the pictures above here. Now see the first picture. Now over here you see, by using a left click we can select the particular icon. Now in this picture we have selected this PC using the left click. Now on the same icon, students, if you press a right click, this is the options that you will see. You see the difference? When you do a left click, it gets highlighted or it gets selected, and when you press the left click, you get the list of options. This options menu is also known as the context menu. This is for your knowledge. Remember, when you do a right click, and the list of menu options or the options that appear are also known as context menu. So the first picture, figure 4.1, shows us left click, and figure 4.2 shows us right click. Let us proceed further on page number 21. Let's see what is double click. When you quickly click the left mouse button twice, it is called a double click. If you move the mouse pointer over any icon and double click it, the application window for that icon opens. You can also open a particular file by double clicking it. So what double click is helping us to do? Double click opens the application window. Now, how you need to perform a double click, students? You need to press the left mouse button twice as quickly as possible. And you have to quickly press the left mouse button twice. That is known as double click. Now what double click does is, I'm sure we all have tried this, we're just understanding the terms. As soon as you double click on a particular icon or any file, the application window of that particular icon opens. For example, if you double click on this PC or my computer, you will see the list of files stored in my computer, or the list of drives in all the computer. So we saw three types of clicking: left click, right click, and double click. Double click is done by using the left mouse button twice. Now let us study more features about the mouse. Let's try to understand more about the mouse. So it's telling us about the scroll wheel. Using the scroll wheel, as discussed, there is a wheel between the left and right mouse buttons that is known as the scroll wheel. It is used to move up and down a page. Let us learn how to use the scroll wheel. So scroll wheel is used to move the page up and down, or move up and down on a page. Right, as you know students, in computers we don't have pages as you have in your regular notebooks or in your workbooks. The pages contain in a line. So if you want to move up and down on a page, you use the scroll wheel. Now to use the scroll wheel, you see there are step-by-step instructions. The first says, move your index finger from the left mouse button to the scroll wheel. Move the wheel forward to scroll up in a page. Move the wheel backward to scroll down in a page. The 3 steps, using your index finger. Now which is your index finger? Right, the first finger is the index finger. So you place your index finger on the scroll wheel. You move from your left mouse button and you move it towards the scroll wheel. Now if you move forward, you will scroll up in a page, and when you move backward or downward, you will scroll down in a page. Simple instructions, students. It's just telling us to move the mouse up and down, or the scroll wheel to use up and down, so that we can easily move on a page. Alright, now we have a practice time. It's telling us to label the parts of the mouse in the following picture. So let's see, what is the first picture, or what you will write in the first blank? Great, it's the scroll wheel. And the second number, you will write left button. Great. And the third one is the right button. Fantastic, students. So this is how you will write. Now once you finish writing this, students, I would like to show you an example as how we can move or make settings of the mouse. This is just for your knowledge. See this picture. Here in this picture you have the mouse properties. This is the window of mouse properties, wherein we can perform the settings on the mouse. I have highlighted the double click speed. So with the help of this scroll bar, we can fix or determine the speed of the double click, whether it has to be fast, slow, or in center. Depending upon the users, we can make the settings as required. Let's turn our page to page number 22. Let's see what the next feature is. It says drag and drop. Drag, what do you understand by drag, students? You pull something, you drag something, right? And drop is to drop it. Like खींच के छोड़ देना, you can say. Drag and drop. Let's understand what is drag and drop. Drag and drop means to move an icon from one place on the computer to another with the help of a mouse. So what is drag and drop? It means to move an icon from one place on the computer to another, like moving the location of an icon or a file or any particular option from one place to another on a computer with the help of a mouse. Now to perform drag and drop, the first point, place the pointer over an icon to drag it. Second, press and hold the left mouse button. Move the pointer to where you want to place the icon. Release the mouse button, the icon gets moved. So here we have step-by-step instructions of how we can use this action or perform this action of drag and drop. So first thing, we place the pointer over an icon to drag. Whichever icon or the file that we want to move, we place the pointer over that particular icon or the file. Then we press and hold the left mouse button. Very important instruction, students. In order to complete drag and drop, we have to press and hold the left mouse button. Now remember, if you press and release, it will perform the click action, the single click. However, if you press and hold it, you can continue with your drag option. So, press and hold the left mouse button, and while you're holding the left mouse button, you move the mouse to your desired location or the place where you want to move that icon, and then you release the mouse button. The icon gets moved. You see in the picture, figure 4.3, drag and drop. You see how a file or an icon is moved from one file to the other. Now to give you one of the classic example on this, I'm sure you all may have watched the movie Koi Mil Gaya, right? Remember, one of the teacher asked Ritik to tell this feature. That's the time he gives this example. Without opening a particular file, we can move the file from one place to the other by using the drag and drop feature. This is how he explains. You just place the pointer over the icon, you press and hold the left mouse button, then you move the pointer to where you want to place the icon, and then you release the mouse button. Your file is moved to the new location. Right, so far in this chapter we saw the structure of the mouse, how it is made up of. Then we saw the left click, right click, double click using the scroll wheel and drag and drop feature. So to quickly summarize this, I have made a flow chart for you students. Look at this. A mouse is divided into three parts: left button, then the scroll wheel, and the right button. The left button has four options or four functions. We can do a single click, we can do a double click, we can drag and drop, and we have one more feature which is click and drag. This option we will learn in your higher standards. This is just for your knowledge or for your good to know information, that we also have one more feature known as click and drag. And the scroll wheel is used to move up and down on a page or a window, and the right button or the right click, it gives you the list of options related to the selected item. It is also known as context menu. So this diagram or this flow chart will be easier for you to understand what is a mouse and what are its components. So with this students, we end our chapter working with the mouse. We will do a hands-on practice once we have the computer practicals. Now for your exercise students, I will send you all the notes. You will complete the notes as it's shown in the picture. Until our next lecture, students, thank you very much for your time. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day, students. Thank you once again.